Hey YouTube, it's Numistacker back with you here, as you can see, from sunny Florida. And today we've got a little coin to show you. It's a sovereign, and it arrived from Silver Forum member Jester. It's been waiting to be sent to me for a couple of months till I was in the States. So thank you very much, Jester, for this great new pickup, which is very exciting because although this particular sovereign only has a small difference from other similar sovereigns, it still represents an area that is important in its own right within the world of sovereigns. So I bet you are absolutely dying to see what this coin is. And what it is a 1930 M for Melbourne sovereign, already graded in MS62, so it's a nice condition coin. And the thing that differentiates it from other sovereigns of this period is the fact that the head is an entirely different portrait in actual fact. So it's known as the first head or the second head, the first large head or the small second head, but there are quite a lot of differences between this particular portrait on the George V sovereign and previous ones. And one of the other things that makes this particular coin a kind of interesting, unique-ish coin is the mintage, because in Melbourne they stopped minting these sovereigns in 1931. That was the last year they were minted. And over the last few years, between say 28 and 31, the mintages were much smaller than usual in any case. And it was really the rundown of the Melbourne Mint just before they stopped producing sovereigns in Australia in that period altogether. So the small head varieties are very sought after. So 29, 30, 31, 32. We had small head varieties, and here you see the mintages, and you can see that the 1930 and 31 sovereigns have very, very low mintages in Melbourne. So the 30 sovereign has 77,588 minted, and you can see here a little close-up of the portrait. This one, as you can see, got a 62. It's not perfect. There's a few bag marks and stuff like that. And let's just go through what the differences are, because it really isn't very obvious that that the second head is particularly small or that the first head is particularly large. So the small head, it does have a completely different portrait engraving. The head is slightly smaller. The BM, which I'll explain in a second, is actually a little bit further towards the right than on the regular sovereign. The moustache of George V has a little more detail on it compared to the moustache in the first head. And there's a difference in the beading around the outside. Apologies for the typo in the slide, but the outside beading has like two distinct layers, whereas the first head doesn't have quite the same beading, so you can tell the difference between them. Also, there tends to be more bag marks on the small head because of the additional amount of field area. But so good ones with very, very few marks maybe have a little bit more of a premium. These coins probably don't go for as high a premium as they really should. Maybe people have a hard time telling them apart from some of the others, but really with a 77,000 mintage, this is a pretty rare sovereign indeed, and the 30 and 31, look out for and buy those, because in the future maybe they will have a slightly higher premium to them, which they really deserve, as they do have a story behind them and they are a distinctive variety of sovereign, and there is a little bit of history in terms of the end of the era at the Melbourne Mint as well. So it's one I particularly like. I wanted one of these in my collection. I will be looking out for a 31 as well. Another big thank you to Jester for giving me the opportunity to buy this one from him. And I mean, altogether, I think that these varieties of sovereigns are worthwhile. I still believe in many ways that sovereigns represent quite a good opportunity for collectors going forward, whether they're from the UK or from the States. I think in many ways they haven't been done to death quite in the same way as American gold coins have, pre-33 gold coins. A lot of these coins are just as rare, if not rarer, than quite a lot of American pre-33 coins. And I do commend you guys to look at sovereigns in a little bit more detail. And although they aren't a standard weight, they do make a very interesting subject for a collection.